welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. If you're new here, this is a little series I'm doing that I'm just talking about my pregnancy. So today we're going to talk about 27 to 29 weeks pregnant with polycystic ovarian syndrome. As always, let's start off with the baby growth and updates. So for 27 weeks pregnant, the baby is the size of a head of a cauliflower, 14.5 inches, and weighs 2 pounds. So the baby's eyes can now open, and then if you shine a flashlight on her tummy, she might respond to that. And then doing Kegels are also very helpful during this time. And then it also says your baby now has eyelids that can open and close, and that she will have hiccups. So with your body, you might be growing extra body hair and then having restless legs. I don't think I've actually had restless legs at all this entire pregnancy, knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it because it sounds very uncomfortable, but it basically says it's just like a creepy crawly sensation in your legs that you can't really get rid of and you have to like move while you're sleeping. So I haven't had that just yet. For 28 weeks pregnant, your baby is the size of a large eggplant. It's 14 3/4 inches and 2 1/4 pounds. Your baby's brain is adding billions of new nerves. Her senses of hearing, smell, and touch are developed and functional. And then during the 3rd trimester, the baby's brain triples in weight. The baby is very active now, so at this point, you'll have to start your kit counting. This is when a lot of providers tell you to start your kit counts, which is at 28 weeks pregnant. Leg cramps are also very common at night. At 29 weeks pregnant, the baby is the size of a butternut squash. She's 15 inches and 2.5 pounds. Between now and birth, your baby will triple in weight, and deep grooves develop to allow more surface area for neurons. Eating a lot of calcium right now is good for your baby's bones, which you can get from cheese, yogurt, or orange juice. About 250 milligrams of calcium are deposited in your baby's skeleton each day. It also talks about gas and bloating is a big thing right now, which can contribute to constipation and having hemorrhoids, and then feeling lightheaded. Now that we've gone over the baby's growth, let's go over everything that's been happening during my 27 to 29 weeks of pregnancy. At 27 weeks pregnant, I actually took the 1-hour gestational diabetes glucose test, which is where you drink 50 grams of sugar, and then an hour later they will test your blood sugar to see where you fall. And then I failed that. Anything under 133 is good. I had a 166 on my blood sugar level an hour later of drinking that nasty juice, and so I had to schedule to come back in for the 3-hour gestational diabetes glucose test. The 3-hour glucose test apparently is easier to pass because you can fail one portion of it and then pass the other 2 and it'd be okay. So they'll draw your blood 4 times. So once before you drink the drink, and then you'll drink the 100 grams of sugar drink, and then an hour later they'll draw your blood again, and then after the 2nd hour they'll draw your blood again, and then after the 3rd hour they'll draw your blood again. So you do have like little room for failure if you do fail. And then we did another ultrasound, and the EIF is still there, although the doctor just told me not to worry about it because this is something they see extremely often in babies, and that they wish they didn't have to tell their patients, but everything needs to be disclosed, which is completely understandable. So at this point, like, I'm not too worried about the EIF because it's not posing any harm to her, and the doctor is literally telling me not to worry. So I'm just going to listen to her and not freak out over this anymore. Moving on to 28 to 29 weeks. At this point, like, everything is pretty much just a blur. Like, I feel like now that I've been in the 3rd trimester, every week has been basically the same. There hasn't been a lot of differences. Like, I don't feel sick. So the days have been going by like a lot faster than it did in the beginning of me being pregnant. Like, I felt like I was just sick all the time, so like time was moving so slow, but like now everything is just kind of like meshed together. So it's been pretty good actually. I have noticed that I am peeing so much at night, and it is so annoying because like you'll literally wake up to go pee and there's like just a little tinkle there. And you're like, why did I have to wake up for this? But then like in the moment when you need to go pee, like you actually feel the urge to need to go really badly. And then you go and sit down on the toilet and it's just like 3 drops and you're like, okay, well, time to go back to bed and wake up in another 30 minutes. And then my stretch marks have also came in now. I didn't get any stretch marks up until literally now. Like they just popped up overnight. Like it's just so crazy, but they're not too bad right now. I'll post a little picture of what I took of them. So I'm okay with the stretch marks. Like without these stretch marks, like I wouldn't have a baby inside me. So I am not upset about these stretch marks because I do understand that going through pregnancy, your body is going to go through a lot of changes, and all of these changes that your body is going through is going to give you a little blessing in your life. So I am still very happy, and I have been using tummy butter just to see if it helps, but stretch marks are all due to genetics, so you either get them or you don't get them, and I have gotten them now. And at this point, my belly just feels so much heavier now, and it kind of hurts to do anything. Like it hurts to turn to a side. Like I have to move really slowly when I'm like rolling around either in bed or on the couch. It's hard to get up the couch because everything is just so heavy, and like I feel like she sits really low, so it just like presses down on my bladder all the time. And then one of the most uncomfortable things that she loves to do is whenever I get up to walk, she literally starts rolling around in my belly. And like, it hurts when she does that because like normally when you're sitting down, like it takes a little bit of the weight off. So when she's like rolling around in there, you're like, oh, how cute. But when you're actually walking around and needing to do stuff and you just feel her like pressing up against your stomach, trying to like push out of your stomach while you're walking, it hurts and it's so uncomfortable. So at around the end of my 28-week mark, I went back to do the 3-hour glucose test, and yeah, I failed that one as well. I don't know my numbers, but I failed, and then they signed me up with a dietitian, so they'll be contacting me to go over my diet plan and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm not too excited about it because I have been able to eat relatively good this entire pregnancy and like binge on certain stuff. But like now that I have gestational diabetes, like I would feel really guilty if I eat something bad because I know it's not good for her if I were to like have my blood sugar skyrocket, and I also don't want to go on insulin. So I'm going to have to figure something out to keep my blood sugar down. But I honestly am not too shocked that I failed because I already had a feeling that I was going to fail both because I was already insulin resistant before I was pregnant. So being insulin resistant and then becoming pregnant where you are already likely to develop gestational diabetes if you have PCOS, like being insulin resistant and then not producing insulin properly, it's like putting those two together, like of course I'm going to fail. And I haven't eaten sugar for like over like 6 or 7 months because I did keto. Well, it's been longer than that now. Yeah, it's been like probably a year since I've had normal sugar because I went on the keto diet. So it's like drinking 50 grams of sugar, pure sugar, and then 100 grams of pure sugar. Like how was I supposed to pass that if my body didn't even normally eat sugar before I got pregnant? So I feel like that whole test was just dumb and I could have avoided it and just like figured something else out to just stay on a low carb diet or something. But like it just didn't make any sense to me if I was already not eating sugar and then needing to drink all that sugar. Like how was I supposed to pass? I don't know. I didn't like it. It was nasty. I read that it's not too good for your body either because it's just like, who in one setting eats that much sugar in 5 minutes? They only give you 5 minutes to drink the drink, which is so disgusting. Like no one does that. Like no one even sits there and chugs a Coke for 5 minutes, and there's like so much sugar in that. But anyway, that's besides the point. So now that I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes, I have to prick my finger 4 times a day and then work on a diet plan with my dietitian. But honestly, they'll probably just put me on a low carb diet to manage my sugars, which I was already doing before I got pregnant. So none of this is too new for me. I just was eating pretty badly in the beginning because like all those pregnancy cravings and like I gave into them. But other than that, like going back on my low carb diet isn't a big deal because I was already doing that before pregnancy. At the 29-week checkup, we had another ultrasound just before we left on our baby moon to make sure everything was okay. And she is measuring a lot smaller. So the previous ultrasound we did at, I think it was 27 weeks, she finally went from the 18th to the 27th percentile, and then at the 29-week ultrasound she dropped back to the 10th percentile. So now they're referring me to a maternal fetal specialist to make sure that everything's okay, because it was really weird to them that she would go from 27% to 10%. So they want to make sure that the blood flow is working properly in my placenta and everything is okay with the baby. So we'll be doing that after our baby moon. But I'm not too worried about it because when the doctor checked the blood flow at my ultrasound at the 29 weeks, she said it was fine. So I'm guessing the baby is just small. Like I am only 4'3" and my husband is only like 5'11" or 6 feet, and my parents are very short. Like my dad is 5 foot, my mom is 4'11", my older sister's 4'9". So like, what do they expect? Like I'm not gonna have a big baby, I'm gonna have a really small baby. So I'm not too worried about that. But I'm going to the high-risk specialist anyway, just to rule anything else out and make sure everything's okay. So that will give everyone peace of mind as well. The EIF is still there, which I'm not too worried about, again, because it's been there this entire time and she's still developing properly. She's just small. And then another thing that started happening is that I started having flashes in my eyes, and that is a sign of preeclampsia. So I work at a optometrist's office. So I already had my doctor that I work for check my eyes, and he said everything looked fine, like your retinas looked fine, so it's probably pregnancy related. So I went back to the OBGYN and told them that I was seeing flashes. So because they're worried that it could be me developing preeclampsia, they want me to pee in a orange jug for 24 hours to monitor my pee and make sure that I don't have preeclampsia. So the jug's like that big and I have to pee in it all day and then bring it back to them. And the nastiest part is I have to keep it in the fridge refrigerated. So disgusting. But yeah, anyway, that came back and it's normal. Like my blood pressure's fine, so I don't have preeclampsia, and I'm hoping I do not develop it because I still get random flashes in my eyes. But it could just be some like random weird pregnancy thing, and yeah, who knows? Pregnancy does weird things to your body. But yeah, that was all of 27 to 29 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this update, and all of you pregnant mamas out there, tell me how you're feeling. I would love to know. And yeah, I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.